This is a very important evening, I hope for all of you, because it recognises the contributions of about 50% of employers in the NHS who are seldom in the limelight, the staff who give essential support to those on the front line. So congratulations to everyone for being here. As far as I'm concerned, whether you actually win the award tonight or don't, you're all winners and all do a fantastic job. Last Thursday, I was one of your customers when I had a 3-day stay at the Countess of Chester Hospital. So I arrive here tonight better informed about the NHS and have a chance to say thank you for the service I received. You may not see much similarity between a Timpson shop and a hospital, but I see one significant similarity. We're both in the service business. As you heard, Timpson was founded by my great-grandfather in 1869 when he opened a shoe shop in Oldham Street, Manchester, about half a mile across the city from where we are now. I sold the shoe shop business, 250 shops, in 1987 and concentrated on a much smaller shoe repair chain. 33 years ago, we had 145 shops. Now, there are 2,100, which includes Max Spielman, Snappy Snaps, Johnson's the Cleaners, Jeeves, and a number of photo concessions within Tesco and Asda. It's very nearly 60 years since I started work as a shoe shop assistant. 6 decades that have brought several bits of luck, a few light bulb moments, and some really bad days, most of which turned out to be better than I expected. A big light bulb moment came in the mid-1990s, when I discovered the secret behind great customer service. You can't create great personal service by writing a set of rules or running customer care courses that teach colleagues to look customers in the eye and use a few well-chosen words. A notice in the back stockroom saying, "Smile, you're on stage," actually doesn't make much difference. The only way to give truly great service is to trust the colleagues who serve the customers with the freedom and authority to do it the way they know best. I should have known that secret about 3 years earlier when I read a book about Nordstrom, a department store chain in the States with an awesome reputation for amazing their customers. In the middle of that book was their management chart, which was upside down, with the sales clerks on top of the chart doing the most important job that makes the money, and everyone else right down to the chief executive there to help and support the colleagues who serve the customers. Once I understood the concept, it seemed so obvious. From then on, I was keen to give our shop colleagues total freedom. So we scrapped most of our rules and just kept 2. Rule 1, look the part, wear our uniform, turn up on time and keep the shop tidy. Rule 2, put the money in the till. It took nearly 5 years to get upside-down management to work. A big problem was middle management, who said they couldn't be held responsible for their performance if they couldn't tell their team what to do. We had to teach them a new way to be a boss. The role had to change. Instead of issuing orders, they did whatever they could to help team members do a great job by giving support and clearing obstacles out of the way. We learned a big lesson. Upside-down management only works if you have the right people. We need positive personalities who are popular with their colleagues and pleasant with our customers. But for years, instead of recruiting impressive characters, we were looking for shoe repairers and key cutters. You can usually teach a positive personality to cut keys, but you can't put personality into a grumpy cobbler. To make sure we were picking the right people, we introduced a new interview form. It pictured a range of different cartoons. Mr. Keen, Mrs. Helpful, Miss Happy and Mr. Punctual, alongside less positive pictures of Mr. Dull, Mrs. Jobsworth, Miss Scruffy and Mr. Miserable. There's an empty box under each picture. All the interviewer has to do is to tick the boxes under the pictures that most fit the person in front of them. We don't bother with psychometric testing and have little interest in the candidate's CV, their qualifications, or what's been written on the application form. If the candidate ticks enough of the right boxes, we simply ask them to work in a shop for half a day with an existing colleague who really gets it, and that tells us all we need to know. Almost half of our recruits are introduced by an existing colleague, so we're full of families and friends. At 12%, the second biggest source of our new recruits is from prison. This started when my son James visited a prison near Warrington, Thorne Cross, and was so impressed with the inmate who showed him round, he handed him a business card saying, "When you get out, get in touch and I'll find you a job." Matt, now a successful manager, is still with us 17 years later, and we now have over 650 colleagues who we've recruited directly from prison. Some of our area managers tell me that they spend over half of their time being a kind of social worker, giving sympathy and sorting out personal problems. When it comes to debt, we have a simple solution. We simply lend the money. It helps to make sure that they don't break rule number 2, which, if you remember, is to put the money in the till. But it's not just a question of sorting out problems. We also think it's important to find imaginative ways to say well done and thank you. That's why every colleague gets a paid day's holiday on their birthday, and we have 19 holiday homes where colleagues can stay with their families for free. We have the usual long service awards and recognise special birthdays and weddings. Indeed, our driver, Martin, who is outside tonight, becomes the wedding chauffeur about 40 times a year. But we also like to spring surprises. The best praise comes out of the blue. Every month we promise to make a few dreams come true, which often means a trip round the world to meet a long-lost relative, or a romantic visit to Vegas, or funding an expensive course of dental equipment. 2 years ago, we even paid for a divorce. Upside-down management doesn't just give freedom to those colleagues who serve customers. Everyone throughout our business can do their job the way they want, as long as they give that freedom to everyone in their team. That allows managers to use their initiative to hand out praise, like the area manager who arrived at her best performing shop to spring a surprise. 2 tickets for a weekend in Paris. The manager's partner was waiting outside in their car, all packed and ready to go straight to the airport. We like breaking the rules to amaze our colleagues. By giving our people the freedom to be their own boss, we've discovered it is very good for their own well-being. And I have no doubt that it is an important part of improving mental health in the workplace. During 2020, I'll be spending a lot of my time trying to persuade big organisations to abandon their current style of management and follow a simpler, much more successful system that treats people with respect and makes the most of the talent in their team. But I expect that 99% would ignore my advice. Too few executives realise that colleagues are the vital ingredient in every business. They mistakenly think that an organisation is run by administrators sat at head office. I agree that the central team must set the strategy and create the culture, but day-to-day decisions should be made by the experts, the colleagues who serve customers, drive trucks, look after patients, and raise invoices. Sadly, most executives believe they know better and devote much of their time developing policies and writing procedures that tell the operators what to do, rather than trust them to use their talent and experience. Consequently, head offices are full of rule makers who get in the way of real success. It gets worse. They not only lay down the way every job should be done, but they also measure performance and check that everyone is following their official process. No wonder we're so inefficient in parts of the UK. I want executives to trust employees to do their job the way they know best. Head office is there to help, not to hinder. Good managers never issue an order. They help their team members to be the best they can possibly be by providing training, support and encouragement. Instead of inventing rules, they should be sweeping away any obstacles out of the way. It's what I call upside-down management. So I want a mission to help senior managers get it. Upside-down management can't work without the enthusiastic support of the chief executive. Sadly, most organisations follow what they believe to be best practice and fill their day with data, appraisals, dashboards, mission statements and deep dives in the search for more policies and processes. Consequently, our office blocks are full of busy middle managers doing the wrong job. Many organisations talk about empowerment when they really mean consultation. They simply ask colleagues what the company should do, but continue to keep control of policy and process and make sure every colleague sticks to the rules. To improve their business, executives must turn their thinking upside down by trusting frontline colleagues with the freedom to choose how their job is done and giving them the authority to make decisions. That is true empowerment. Think about it. Suddenly you have a company full of positive colleagues who are free to use their initiative and improve the business. I guarantee it works, as long as your organisation is full of positive personality who rate 10 out of 10. And to get there, you do need to say goodbye to any colleague that doesn't enjoy their job. If you have great people, look after them with plenty of praise, kindness and recognition. We ended 2019 by taking 182 frontline colleagues on an amazing trip to Iceland, the sort of wow factor that puts a big buzz into upside-down management and shows that everyone is of equal importance. So my challenge during 2020 is to prove that upside-down management isn't just for cobblers. It's all right for you, say some CEOs in their big offices. You're a small family business, but it wouldn't work in financial services or a FTSE 100 company which has to report to a regulator. I disagree. It is true when we introduced upside-down management, we were quite small. We had just over 1,000 colleagues. Now we have 5,500, and it seems to work even better. I reckon the way we look after our frontline colleagues puts an extra 40% on our turnover. And by cutting out the policy and process, we save loads of money that can be spent on making our colleagues feel special. In my view, the bigger the organisation, the bigger the benefits brought by upside-down management. So the biggest potential gains to be made must be